Hello everyone and welcome back to the Little Quilter. Today we're going to continue work on the ugly sweater quilt, and I thankfully got some more laundry basket fabrics, bisque fabric, to finish up those last little blocks, and we're going to go ahead and get the rest of that part sewn on as well. Now, there's one thing that I have to do before that, so let me show you what it is. Okay, here is the back of the quilt thus far, and I've kind of been working in sections just because I thought it would be easier to sort of pick up small pieces and sew them together. And so I've just been adding in little sections. So now I'm going to take all of these parts right here and I'm going to add them all together and sew them together. And the main reason for that is, one, now that I have this fabric here, I need to go ahead and get this guy off of the floor so I can finish putting it together because the quilt is underneath there. And the other reason is so that I'll know kind of how big it is, so I know where I need to add fabric in order to get the right size of this background for the quilt. I'm not worried at all about having enough fabric because I still have several things of fabric that I can cut and add to it. At this point, I just want to make sure that I'm not making one side too big, short, or any of those things. So that's what we're going to do so that we can keep going. So let's get it done. Alright, here is the back of the quilt thus far. So I did end up having to add a little bit. I added this little border over here and down the side, trimmed up some of the edges. So around here, I was a little bit sad to cut this off. This is probably my favorite fabric of the whole quilt, but I've saved what I have, so I think I can add that somewhere else. I've added this really fun, I really love this fabric as well, and I love having added it there, that little strip. You get a nice pretty view of those ornaments. So it's definitely coming together well, but I do think once I get the sides on, then I'm going to have to add more. The length may be okay, but we'll see. So now I've got to get in, make these little guys here, and finish this strip. So, okay, I've just finished this row right here so that it's going to go all the way around. Over here I've got the quilt backing hanging up, but I wanted to show you guys this right here. So this is the other end where I had that little bit of a gap here, and so I've sewed this little piece on here, which will now match that little piece down there. So I think just doing that is going to help make it look more consistent rather than having it look like it's overlapping in places that I don't want it to overlap. You know, I mean, I guess I could have done like a half square and just cut it off and thought, well, it's just wrapping underneath it. But I think this is going to be a little bit more subtle than having it cut off. I feel like cutting off one of those really bright squares would have been a lot more, like, you just would have seen it a lot more. It would have been a lot more noticeable than throwing in a little bit of that background fabric. I think that just melts into it a little bit better. So I'm happy with how this works. I'm excited to attach these on and have this whole quilt surround done. So let's do that. All right, we are making some serious progress today, which is, well, tonight, which is really exciting. Let me show you. All right, so I'm going to show you and say somebody's come to get me to go to bed. So I'll show you this and then we'll stop for tonight, because basically what I've got left, so underneath, you can see it through this guy right here, is the quilt, and I've laid out the backing on it. And what this is telling me is we are pretty close with this. So I do want to extend this more, so about 5 inches around the edge of it, and the same at the top. Over here, I'll have to do a little bit more than 5 inches because it's not quite all the way down there. So I'm going to be adding a little bit more fabric to it. But how exciting is it that the quilt top and the back are almost done? We are about to start sewing this thing, which is awesome. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this little video about getting this finally finished. I'm going to go ahead and add those little pieces, and then my next task is going to be getting it onto the frame so that I can start sewing this and get this thing done, which is really, really fun. I am still unsure if I'm going to finish it in time for the party, just because I think I only have like maybe 10 more days left to finish this and get it quilted. So I don't know, we'll see, but we just got to keep going. So gonna end it for tonight. Hope you all have enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time on the Little Quilter. Thanks.